Hi, I'm Wynton Marcellus, and I want to tell you all about my friend and the wild man on the drums, a great educator, Rob the drummer.
He was awesome. His drums, oh my God, he was just so awesome.
Gee, Rob, you really play those drums very well.
Thank you, Big Bird.
Rob has that original joy. He's never lost the original joy, and I bet he was wild like that when he was 13 or 14 or 9 or 10.
Rob Gottfried, better known to thousands of kids across the USA as Rob the Drummer, has entertained and guided youth worldwide. But in the state of Michigan, his role model Be the Best You Can Be concerts left lifelong impressions on the hearts of thousands. He has appeared on Sesame Street, the Nickelodeon Network, Romper Room, Entertainment Tonight, MTV, the Fox Network, CBS, NBC, PBS, and numerous other cable television programs. Through the Esperance Family Foundation and the philanthropic vision of director Dr. Roger Newton and his wife Coco, an environment for enriching and educating youth was fostered across the state of Michigan. They created a superhero team, a tour de force for youth health promotion to build healthy life skills, goal orientation, and self-esteem for the youth of Michigan. 15 years of school concert presentations, combined with the added grassroots support of the Michigan State Police Community Service Troopers, tackled critical social issues of drugs, bullying, and peer pressure in schools.
A unique motivational speaker is traveling across Michigan right now, talking to kids across the state. His name is Rob the Drummer, and since 1976, he's been showing kids the importance of hard work. Jessica Wheeler visited one of his shows.
Basically, I'm using something primal and nonverbal, which is drums, as a way of approach.
Rob the Drummer, as he's known, travels the world bringing his one-man motivational show to the kids. His goal is to talk to them about their future, showing them what they can achieve with hard work.
They drop their defense screens, and they might actually listen to what I say.
Once he drums his way in, he brings age-appropriate talks about drugs, bullying, and self-esteem.
It's the Michigan State Police that are the ones, because I'm reinforcing and supporting everything that they are saying and trying to do.
In the end, the kids have fun and learn a little bit about music and so much more.
My message is to go for the gold.
In 2010, the Michigan Model began. A unique collaboration was formed based upon the volunteer dedication of Michigan CST, community service troopers, and local law enforcement, including sheriffs, deputies, and police officers. Their guidance impacts curriculum goals dealing with drug abuse and bullying throughout the state, especially in districts where critical pressing social issues are dominant. Rob's program reinforced the troopers' curriculum goals by cutting to the core of what drives their daily lives. Music, cell phones, video games, peer pressure, the internet, and dangers of cyberbullying. Rob goes straight to their receptive wavelengths of interest, and they listen. Then he rocks the place. Kids, teachers, troopers, parents. Audiences respond. Teamwork is established with the use of positive mob psychology, self-esteem, and goal-oriented thinking. Skills build. And kids begin to let down their barriers and open up to discussing drugs and bullying. Thanks to the outstanding efforts of troopers like Deputy Cole Brady, Rob's lifelong dedication was brought to these kids. Emmett County Sheriff Peter Wallen commended Deputy Brady and the Petoskey Police Department for getting the elementary schools involved.
Perhaps you've seen a motivational performer known as Rob the Drummer on shows like Sesame Street or Nickelodeon.
This week, the one-man entertainer is making stops at a handful of schools in Emmett County thanks to the efforts of the local sheriff's department. Fox 32's Alex Jokic visited Sheridan Elementary in Petoskey today and has more details.
You think it'd be okay if I got a little bit louder? Would it be all right?
Hey, what is going on here? The reason why I like drums is because they can play nice and loud. So how about it? Play loud, huh, Rob? Yeah.
He's known as Rob the Drummer, a man who tours the world with an interesting approach to some age-old lessons.
He said that whatever you like to do, you need to practice it a lot because that's how you're going to get really good at it. And the more you practice, the better you are.
And we learned that if you're frustrated or anything about something, then don't put your temper on someone else. Just get something you like to do and hit it on that so you can express your feelings in a good way.
And if your biggest bully is yourself, Rob creatively tackles that one too.
I want to practice now.
No, I'm having fun.
I said get off these drums!
No, no way. Why does this always happen to me?
Get off!
Whoa, what's happening?
He reels them back in again with his drums. So I think it's just really cool how the way that he is able to do that with the kids and get it through to them.
Hey, Rob, look at me. See, I knew you could do it.
Rob's energy gives the kids a little boost of their own.
1, 2, 3.
I liked how he just let us express our feelings and dance with each other.
It was awesome.
Sounds like these kids got the message, loud and clear. In Petoskey, Alex Jokic, Fox 32 News.
So much of the time when I walk into a situation, they're not used to a male figure having it together at all. They're, you know, I was playing for 15-year-olds living in a trailer in the snow, mom's using, dad's in the joint, and they're going to high school by themselves. And it wasn't an exception, it was the rule. They were sending home food on the weekends just so that the kids could eat something. So it's really bad out there in many areas. And that effect of someone walking in and they get a chance to see somebody who loves what they do and does it really well, they're not used to that. They're not used to that from anybody, male or female.
1, 2, 3, go!
Rob Gottfried knows how to get his audience going.
It's primal stuff. It's caveman stuff. Primal, nonverbal. They know more about me in the first 5 minutes than anything I could ever say. They know where my heart is. And that's why they accept me. And that's maybe why they accept much of what I say.
And what Rob the Drummer is talking about is getting high without drugs. When he was 25, Rob began to use his drumming to reach kids after being invited by a former instructor to come and talk to some students.
And when I walked in, the kids were wild. They were crazy. But as soon as I started playing, I had the wildest kid. I just had him nailed.
He's saying, you can say yes because you have all these options of all these other things that you can do.
The drums just draw everybody in because it's loud, it's unique.
I think he made a lot of people think about what they do a second time.
All right, are you going to support them? Are you ready?
Through the years, I've developed the ability, hopefully, to approach them and get that connection and get the defense screens down so that if I then do say something, it actually goes in and it actually may cause some behavioral change.
Michigan Detective Dennis Padgett proudly states, "It's about the kids, Rob, and what they need." The bottom line is the kids need you. We may never know how many kids you have touched with your message, but just one is a success. Hundreds of graphs prepared by Rob's home office give administrators, teachers, and counselors first-hand feedback. His post-concert student questionnaires give kids ownership for making change, bringing their leadership skills to the forefront, and giving them direction to reach goals. Placing their information into pictorial formats gives relevance to student input and drives the refinement of Rob's message. Eye-opening, anonymous responses about drugs and bullying make administrators take notice. The first-hand student information sent directly back to principals is critical for counselors. Total school population, percentage of drug issues experienced or witnessed, percentage of bullying incidents students witness. Suicide attempts were averted, interventions were initiated. Thousands of letters of testimony validate the Michigan model as a time-tested resource for other states to follow.
You know, unfortunately now, when I do these shows, more than half of the kids don't have a father in the house, or they have a stepfather they don't like, and they trust no one. There is no one that they trust. They don't trust the police. They don't trust the politicians. They can't even trust that their parents are going to stay together. The under 30 divorce rate is 62%. The over 30 is 52. More than half of them are divorced within 2 years.
I think that in school and in other mediums we're given these messages about anti-drug and anti-bullying, and it's pretty boring, frankly. And so for a guy like Rob to come to our camp and do this crazy performance that nobody's ever seen and nobody will ever recreate is really just, it was really wonderful just to kind of hear his take on things, to see the reactions of everybody else. It was just really great, really creative and original. I mean, it's definitely a performance that's hard to forget, so I think that in those next, I guess when kids are in those situations, I don't know if they'll think of Rob, but I think they'll think of his message and think of how he said it, how it was presented, because any teacher can stand up in front of a classroom and do a lesson on bullying, but to hear something and experience something like Rob's performance just sticks with you.
Kids need to be aware of their strength of character, to understand why it is so important to resist social pressures and experimentation with tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. They need to feel exhilaration and joy and embrace empathy to become caring adults and credible leaders for future communities. Experiencing the opportunity to achieve life-changing highs is the ultimate success.
Thunder Bay Junior High School students got a chance to take a break from the classroom today to learn valuable lessons and self-pride and anti-bullying through the art form of music. Students gathered in the school's gymnasium and were entertained by Rob the Drummer, a nationally recognized children's motivational drummer. Rob uses instruments to present an encouraging message to students on how they can have a dream and ways to get there. His message also touches on anti-bullying, cyberbullying, illegal drug use, and alcohol. During his presentation, Rob the Drummer also showed video that depicted a cartoon character of Rob the Drummer role-playing different situations, including the effects of bullying.
What I'm really trying to get them to feel is empathy. Can I feel what it's like to be on the receiving end of what I put out? If I can feel what you feel coming from me, I'm not going to bully you.
Today's presentation was put on with the help of the Michigan State Police Alpena Post, and Rob the Drummer will be visiting schools around Northeast Michigan as a part of his 6-week Michigan school tour that will include stops in Hillman, Lincoln, Alcona, and Posen.
Big round of applause for Rob the Drummer. Great!
The program was honored when Mayor Anthony Bosbos of Sault Ste. Marie officially proclaimed March 11th Rob the Drummer Day to a crowd of 600 cheering fans. In 2012, Governor Rick Snyder awarded Rob the State Special Proclamation on behalf of the students and communities of Michigan.
drummers have to know exactly where the time is.
Rob's really cool. Yeah.
The message is incredible. You know, a lot of the stuff he does with inner city kids and kids that need a lot of help, I think is phenomenal.
I saw it at work, and I read into the internet to find more about Rob the drummer, and I thought it'd be good for my two boys.
I think it's going to be awesome.
I really enjoy this show. I think that it has so much to offer kids and families. It is exactly why the Michigan Theater exists. Our mission is to serve the community, and this kind of program fits right into our mission like a glove.
I really loved how we got to do like hand motions, and it taught you about bullying, and it was just really fun for me to come here.
Any organization that wants to bring in a program that will inspire kids to feel empowered and heighten their sense of self-esteem and achieve as much as they can in their lives would be well advised to book this program.
I really didn't know what to expect, but I loved the message. It was cool, but not too pushy, I guess. It really broke it up, so I mean, it made it more fun and less like a school lesson and more just like a fun kind of, I don't know, almost like a coach talking to you.
I can hear you louder. Get ready to go!
It was a great show. It was extremely inspirational. He touched on many different topics for kids to express themselves. I love to hear about the drugs, the alcohol, and the cyberbullying. It was great. It was really great.
I think his message is critically important, particularly since families are challenged, economically challenged. Parents have a difficult time sometimes with their kids, and vice versa. And so having Rob come out here and have a strong message of self-esteem, building self-esteem for children. You're not born great. You may have talent, but you're not born great. What a message for kids, that you have to work. If you want to be good at something, or you want to be really good at something, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice, and you'll turn into somebody that you can be proud of.
I got sick of playing for self-medicated audiences. I can rock out just like everybody else, and really that's what people respond to initially, the power of what this drums thing is. But they also feel my power just coming through in that vehicle. And if I can let that attract them to something a little higher vibration than what they're going through, then I've done what I feel is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Rob the drummer.